Hi, I'm just doing a short live video, impromptu, because just an example of changing habits, breaking a habit. I went to the supermarket this evening, and just to get a few bits, as you do. And when I went in, I noticed that they'd changed things around. And I was just looking for the chicken and the usual. I had set in my mind that I was just going to get my staples and my usual bits and pieces, and they had moved stuff around, and it took me a little bit just to recognise that, okay, actually they've moved stuff. And I was a little bit sort of, you people, and I could see other people were, oh, where's this and where's that, and whether they've done this to sort of distract from the price rises, I don't know. That's just an economic comment, maybe not, but I could feel myself already getting a bit sort of, not like stressed, but I could feel, oh my god, I have to do a bit of work here. I have to go and look for where they've put everything, and they haven't moved, wasn't particularly moved far away, it was just rearranged things. They'd changed around a couple of aisles and things, and stuff that was at the end of an aisle had been moved into the middle of another aisle and stuff. But it took a bit of work. I just wanted to go in. I knew I probably could have done it had they not moved everything around. I could do it with my eyes closed. And that's why it's just such a perfect example of when something is changed and it suddenly becomes hard work. It takes more energy. I could feel that, oh, I have to go and look and I have to do some work here. This is hard. And it was a physical feeling in my body, and obviously it's not a dramatic thing, it's just doing a bit of shopping, for God's sake, but it really highlighted that, your brain, your mind, you get so used to behaviours, you get so used to, hi Sue, you get so used to doing certain things, and we're on autopilot for so much of our lives. And statistically, it's that a lot of what we do is like 80-90% is in our subconscious. That seems to be the standard statistic on that. But whatever that statistic is, it's quite high. A lot of what we do in our day-to-day behaviours are automatic behaviours. Driving a car is the perfect standard example. You learn how to drive a car. Initially, it's so hard. You're stuttering, spluttering. You're just trying to figure out everything. And now you drive the car, and you're figuring out a million things in your head as you're driving. And then you get to where you want to go, and you think, how did I do that? Well, it's in your subconscious. It's just ingrained in there. Take, for instance, if you're changing from a manual car to an automatic, okay, should be easy, but there's still a learning curve. There's still something else you have to do, and it takes effort. It takes energy, and that's why the mind loves familiarity. It loves what's familiar because it's easy. And that's good and bad. It's good in that it keeps you safe. Mind is there to keep you safe. Because even if a behaviour is not particularly good for you, the familiarity of it, the routine of it is familiar. It doesn't require masses of new energy. It's automatic. It's easy. Like I say, even if it's bad for you, the mind will love it because it's easy. You don't need to learn anything new. And learning something new is difficult, so breaking habits and breaking behaviours and breaking addictions takes a lot of energy. And even if you know and you plan to change, take New Year, perfect example. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. You've got all this motivation, and you're prepared, and you think you're priming yourself for it. And then you start, and people tail off because it gets hard. It gets hard, and the mind loves to go back to what's familiar. But the thing is, once you get past a certain point, now the jury is out, I think, on how long it actually takes to break a habit. Addictions might take a little longer. It depends on whatever support and help you're getting. The standardized thinking is kind of 21 to 30 days. To break a habit or ingrain a new habit. And certainly the mind learns by repetition, by doing something over and over again. Another example, for instance, like getting up in the morning earlier. Now that's a difficult one, you might think, and I'm certainly in that category. I do get up early, but I feel I'd like to get up earlier. And I keep setting my alarm early. And I keep hitting the snooze button. And I'm human, but I know I'm going to crack it because I need to. And it will take doing that routinely, getting up and just doing it. But doing that routinely, and that will start a new habit. And it takes energy, it takes effort. And once you know it's going to take energy and take effort, you can prime yourself for that. And even if you hit relapses and you fall off the wagon, you can get back in the saddle, okay, to use all these metaphors. And it just takes that energy again. But knowing that it's not necessarily a failure, it's the way the mind just loves familiarity. So that shopping this evening was a perfect example of that. Now, breaking addictions, that takes a plan. That takes a plan, it takes motivation, and you need to be prepared for it. And it takes energy and effort, and it can absolutely be done 100%. It just takes that planning. It's not something really that you can just, okay, I'm just going to do this, because your mind will have been so ingrained by an addictive behaviour and used to that dopamine, the pleasure that you get from it, the anxiety relief, or whatever relief it's giving you, your mind will be attracted to that dopamine rush. And the mind also learns about that dopamine rush. So even if you break the habit for a bit, it can fall back into it again, because it will remember, the memory is there. Oh, you get a dopamine rush from doing this. And then that's still in your mind. So it takes a bit of work, it takes a bit of effort in refocusing your thinking and getting help as well, getting support as needed, because it's a tricky one to do on your own. People can do it on their own. It is very possible. Other people may need support to start with breaking the addiction, getting over the addiction, or with relapses, because people often fall into these pits of despair that, oh, I've fallen off the wagon, I've relapsed, I'm a hopeless case. It's completely normal. It's human. You're dealing with the mind that has been wired in a certain way, and it takes that energy and effort. And just that simple example this evening of me having to look and find where everything else was in the shop, because they'd moved everything around. I could feel that energy, that physical energy that I needed, just to look for where they'd put things. So I hope that's been helpful, and the purpose of this video is just to give you some insight into what you're dealing with, your mind that loves familiarity and loves what's easy. And to overcome that is a question of just creating new behaviours and awareness of what's going on, that you're dealing, especially if you have a compulsive addiction, you're dealing with a brain that has been firmly rewired in a certain way. So I'll stop there, and I hope you found this a little bit helpful, and have a lovely evening. Bye for now.